follows Marketing Monday. Marketing Monday yesterday. Then we have Tuesday. Tuesday's usually a follow-up day. Tuesday's also, we could call Tuesday Tenant Buyer Tuesday because that's usually what you end up doing is working with a tenant buyer or something like that on a Tuesday. But it's Tuesday. So we got our VIP Q&A today. We also have Bob Vieira. We always start the week out with Bob. It's always good to start the week out with something great. Don't you agree?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you're a pretty great guy.
I appreciate
our resident short sale expert. How'd you become a resident short sale expert, Bob?
Well, my short sale journey or the journey meeting you?
Yeah, the short sale. I know how you met me.
I know, but everyone doesn't know. Maybe refresh your memory. I don't know. No, I started out as a real estate agent in the Philadelphia, PA market. And, like any new agent, I was hustling around, trying to get any listings possible just to stay busy. And it happens by luck. A lot of them were short sales. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was literally guesswork, but I got them done and I learned through, trial and error. And, before you knew it, people were giving me their short sale listings. And then about a year ago, Universal Short Sales was born. That's it.
Nice. That's great, man.
Yeah.
So it was like destiny then.
It was. You could say that. Yeah. It sounds a whole lot better when you say it like that, for sure.
I like it. I believe in destiny. I think there are some things that are just meant to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but for you, short sales is one of those things that sounds like it was just meant to be. We got a lot of people popping in here, guys. Sorry if I seem distracted, but there's just people trying to pop in here, which I'm glad for. I want everybody that can to participate, and we're going to have some Q&A today. But Bob, when you got into doing short sales, you were being given these deals by other realtor agents?
Not in the very beginning. In the very beginning, I hustled, I got my own deals that ended up being short sales. But eventually, like a year or two into it, people were literally, either giving me the short sales because they wanted nothing to do with them, or they were keeping the listings and, asking for my help to process them with the bank.
Okay, I understand. So this week I ran into a guy who has a property that he bought 3 years ago. Okay. So, he hasn't paid the mortgage down much in 3 years, like at all. So, the way they set up mortgages is where you pay a lot of the interest up front, and so he's probably not paid it down much. And he bought the house for $145. He thinks he could sell it for $149. I don't know if he's going to be successful or not. Before I was getting off the phone with him, he told me that he has a default going on. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. So the clear picture started to come to me. He's 3 months behind in payments. So he hasn't received a lis pendens yet, which somebody told us, remember a few weeks ago, that's a litigation pending is what that means.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I forget who told us that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hasn't gotten one of those yet. But I'm suspecting that if he's 90 days behind, he's probably going to get one soon. That doesn't qualify for a short sale yet, does it?
Is he underwater?
See, that's the thing. Probably not. I don't know, but I'm guessing not, since he's only 90 days behind. But once he gets a lis pendens, I bet the whole paradigm, the whole dynamic changes. And this guy gets underwater because of the fees and the attorneys and all that stuff that have to be hired on the bank's account and so on and so forth. So I think he's this close to being underwater now, and he hasn't received a lis pendens yet. So I think the other shoe's about to drop for this fella. I couldn't get him to do anything with me today. Don't know that I could do anything much with it anyway, probably, but it'd be a skinny profit for me. And, so, but he's not ready for a short sale either, is he?
It's close because remember, there's two main factors you need to
Yeah.
qualify it. First factor, he's passing, right? He's behind on his mortgages.
Yes.
Behind on his mortgage. You said about 3 months.
Yes.
So the second factor is close because you need to be underwater, negative equity.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, so, okay, he owes about 145, correct?
Yes. Well, that's what he bought the house for.
Okay,
So
he bought it for
so he's paid it down for 3 years,
Okay.
but not much, right? Not much has come off there in 3 years. And
Mhm.
then and then now he's 90 days behind, so he has that arrears.
The fees.
So it's starting to accumulate, but
Yeah.
there's not much equity to eat up anyways.
Yeah. If you could find out what his exact principal mortgage balance is, which is, he could make
Yeah.
a simple phone call to the bank.
Yeah.
That'll tell you whether or not it's a potential short sale. Because remember, we do short sales a lot of times too, when they're technically not even underwater. Let's say the property's worth, the 149 that he's saying, but let's say with all the fees and stuff, it's, he owes 147. Well, on the surface, he has $2,000 in equity, but you have to calculate the real estate commissions because the property has to be listed. The bank requires it. You have to calculate if there's transfer taxes, if he has back taxes, which is the case a lot of times when people are behind on the mortgage. Let's say he owes $1,000 trash fee to the city. You know what I'm saying? That stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And if those closing costs are at that 149 that he thinks it's worth, or even above it, it just turned that $2,000 equity into a short sale. So like what I'm saying is to like shorten that up and simplify it for everybody is even if somebody has a little bit of equity on the surface, it could still be a short sale after their closing costs.
I see. Okay. I had a thought. I hadn't had this thought before, not in a long time at least. Could I possibly ask him if he has access to his mortgage balance account, online?
100%.
Because it's possible he has a mortgage account that he can log into and see kind of what his current status is and payments missed and so on and so forth. And cool idea. And that would be instantaneous.
Yep.
It's probably going to be a close estimation, probably not an exact, but that's good enough anyway, right? So
yeah. What it's going to give him, Justin, is he'll be able to look at his principal mortgage balance. So that's the balance owed.
Yes.
Not counting, like you said before, the arrears, the fees, etc. But I mean, the principal is going to give you a really good idea because if he's close, let's say you agree with him and it's worth the 149 as is, if his principal balance is close to that within a couple grand, you might have a potential short sale there because it's not counting the other fees.
Okay, man, I got a question now, Bob.
Yeah.
What if he damaged the property and it was no longer really worth, let's say Zillow said it was worth 149. If it was in decent shape, an appraiser would say it was worth 149. But he's been very hard on this property and it's really only worth about 117 now. Okay, so does that change the dynamic of the deal because the property is no longer worth what it used to be?
100%. So the bank doesn't care what Zillow says. The bank doesn't care what the owner thinks it's worth. That's irrelevant. The bank is going to send an appraiser out there. And if you're saying the property is worth 117 now because of the damages, a good appraiser is going to take that into consideration. And then the appraisal is going to come out at or around that 117 that it's worth. All that matters is the as is value. It doesn't matter what the property was worth before he damaged it. It doesn't matter what he thinks it's worth. All that matters is the as is value of the property.
Man.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he literally could go in and jack that property up on purpose.
Whoa now. No.
Could he? I mean, do people do
I mean,
that?
I mean, look, if he does that and then does a short sale, that's mortgage fraud if he gets
Well,
caught.
no, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is illegal. I'm just saying
Yeah, he
it
could.
just,
Yeah. People did that all the time. That's why short sale laws right now are so strict. Because in 08 and 09, Justin, investors, not the owners, the investors were making offers on short sales, and then they were going in and doing stuff like, they were getting like a Pepsi can and like spraying it on the ceiling to make it look like there was a leak. They were doing crazy shit. They were busting
wow.
properties up before the appraisal. Yeah. So,
Jeez
yeah,
Louise.
that's why it's so strict now. So
Man.
yeah, he could hypothetically, he could definitely do that.
Well, I just caught up with the whole thing to just right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't believe that the bank would leave themselves wide open like that. But how interesting. I mean, woo, strange.
Yeah.
I hope this makes sense. But I kind of took us down a bunny trail. Does it make sense to everybody in the Zoom room? Is it okay?
Fire away with questions if you have
Yeah.
them.
Anybody got a question or anything? We're talking about short sales. If you don't know Bob's resident short sale expert, universalshortsales.com. Okay. So short sales is complicated and lengthy. If you get a lead like this, if you go to universalshortsales.com and sign up with Bob, you can send the lead over there. He'll work the whole thing. Okay. When he closes it, he'll send you a referral fee. It's $500.
Yep.
Okay. So it converts a dead lead into some potential revenue for you. It's another tool in your toolbox. Anybody got questions for Bob? Anything?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, shoot away.
So Bob, I had sent something to you on the Facebook page before, but so we have a VA that sends out a lot of like low ball offers to listed properties. And so we get realtors that come back and say, hey, though, this is a short sale. So you need to send me an offer, then it could go to the bank. And so I had asked the other day about, so if it was a listed property, whether or not you could still.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
So I just was curious how that whole scenario would go if that comes up again.
So are you going to be the end buyer or are you?
No, I mean, it would just be a straight referral to you.
Okay. So on the surface, yes, we could work the short sale if there's a realtor already in place, because realtors bring me business anyway. They say, hey, process the short sale. I'm the one listing it. However, for some reason, I find whenever I talk to a homeowner first, I'll talk to the homeowner and they want to do a short sale and they're on board, but they already hired a listing agent. Let's say the property's listed and then they realize they want to do a short sale. Mm-hmm. For some reason, 9 times out of 10, and I don't know why this is, a lot of realtors, they have like a pride issue, or I don't know what it is, but they're not cooperative with me. Because I'm I don't know if they just don't want to do a short sale or what the case is, but we need full cooperation from that real estate agent. And if it's their listing and the owner hires us second, does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I think so. My question more is that it's already listed, an already listed property that would be a short sale.
Okay, so it's already listed as a short sale.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, I could still get involved, okay. But it depends how far along it is. Because I've had those situations where people reached out to me and wanted to hire me once they were, listed for a short sale and going through the process. Typically, if they're more than 50% complete with the short sale, I'll just be honest with them and say, look, you don't need me here. You already did the hard part. You're on the right track. Go for it.
Okay.
So it depends how far along they are with the short sale.
Okay.
If it's already on the market as a short sale, oh, well, I guess that might not be an indication, because doesn't it have to go on the MLS like for a certain amount of time before it can go into true short sale process or something like
sometimes that? It depends on the type of loan. Some government loans require that, but some conventional loans don't. Did I answer your question, Mark?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Great
Okay.
stuff. Great stuff, guys.
Let me know if I didn't, and like, let me know, DM me or something. We could set up a call if I could be like
Okay.
more specific.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good. Perfect.
Word. Yeah, I like that, Bob. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Good conversation today, man. Go to guys, if you're out there wholesaling or in the investor game and you're marketing, looking for deals, you're probably at some point going to run across somebody. How many is it now? What was it? 10 million in forbearance?
It's less. It's like under 8 now.
Okay, but still, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
If you run into one of them, okay, what do you do with that? This is what you do with it. Okay. If it's in a short sale scenario, underwater, in default, okay, those two things might make it be a great candidate for a short sale. Okay. So connect with Bob so he can help you do all that side of the business. All right, guys. Universalshortsales.com. Bob, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me as usual. I love joining you guys.
Yeah, man. We love having you here. Thank you, dude. We'll see you
Later,
next week.
guys.
All right. So Q&A today, Tuesday. I hope you guys are following along with my routine a little bit here. The Sunday scraping of Zillow, Craigslist, the Monday marketing, the text, and then we do, of course, Tuesday is, like I was saying, it's kind of like Tenant Buyer Tuesday. We're going to talk about that a little bit today too, if we have time, and hopefully we do. And then also, we have Thursdays, Text Blast Thursday. So marketing goes out on Thursday. Then we have Phoning Friday, and we have Signature Saturday. So we have our 3 phone days, okay, where we're pre-qualifying and then we're trying to close these leads. All right, I hope you guys are following along with that. If you are, and I know some of you are, and for some of you, I can tell. I don't know if you're so close to the forest that you can't see all the trees, as they say. But from my perspective, watching some of you that I know that are like one-on-one students or something like that, where I kind of get to see what's happening in your business, I wanted to tell you that the ones that are adopting that that routine, I can really tell a difference in your momentum already. I really can. I hope you can, because I'm getting a lot of good feedback from you, and I like it. I like the good feedback. In some cases, that's all we need is somebody to help us get the rhythm, and once we get that rhythm, bada bing, bada boom. Alex was talking about doing some JV work with somebody here in the VIP. Is that right, Alex? Was it you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
Looking to do
dude.
more so of like starting a small accountability group where you all can like meet up maybe once or twice per week.
Yeah, that's cool. I dig it. Mark, he tagged in there that he was interested, I think. And
Yeah, we'll get with her.
anybody else that's interested. And man, I know there's some dudes that would be interested, like Edward Porter. He's handling some family stuff right now, but he's always usually here. Last week or so, he's been busy. Maybe Greg Allen too. So there's some other dudes that might plug into that, man.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. So
And for your Thursdays, do you have one VA like talking to all of your leads when you send that 2,500 text blast out?
Yes. One
Okay.
VA and one acquisitions manager.
Okay.
So they both work on the task. And then the good ones, my closing manager, my acquisitions manager, he'll try to close them. So he works more on Friday, making those kind of calls, and Saturday. All right. But Thursday and part of Friday, usually he's helping out doing pre-qualification calls too.
Okay.
You got to keep these people busy, man.
Right.
So that's what's up, yeah, I run a really light ship, really. I feel like it for the amount of business that we do. I feel like I have a very light ship. I don't want to be the guy that has the big, and that's okay if you do, if you want to have the big office and lots of people there and lots of desks and lots of phones ringing and lots of people, talking at the water fountain. And That's all okay too. Um, I, a lot of people don't know this, but I tried that. Okay. I failed at it miserably. I'll just say I failed at it because it's hard to manage people in an office setting. I don't know why. For me, it was. And you'd think that would be easier because they're right there in front of you, but they waste a lot of your time. They waste a lot of your time talking and stupid questions and drama and my kid has this going on. I need to leave early and all this, it's just like, why do I need all this shit in my life? So I canned that deal after about 90 days because it was just more than I wanted to deal with. And since then I've been riding with this virtual idea, and that's been probably the last 4 years or so. And I love it. It's like total freedom, y'all. I mean, it really is. So I'm not knocking the guys like Max Maxwell or whoever you see out there that have, big teams, big offices, big, I'm not casting shade on that at all. I'm just saying for me, like I like the speedboat, like I can change on a dime, man. It's great. So I don't know. I hope that helps somebody out there. Alex got me started on that. Sorry, Alex. Sandra, I know you got some questions.
Why do you say that? Because I always ask questions.
Yeah, I thought you had some questions, and I was hoping Shay would be here because I know Shay had some questions.
Well, I'm a little sad, Justin, because I actually was hoping to have a little bit of good news where it comes to like my first deal. I thought I was getting close to that. So and I just got an email from the seller that he's had a change of heart. So I don't know how I can salvage that deal. But anyway, so yesterday I had sent an offer letter out to a homeowner. And he was really excited about doing a lease option. We talked about the numbers, he agreed with the numbers, the down payment, everything, very motivated, I went to the whole qualification. And so yesterday I sent him the the offer letter with the special report attached to the end of it. Has scheduled to talk to him today, later on this afternoon, just in case he had any questions. And he just sent in me an email, that after careful consideration, he's had a change of heart. And one of the things is because he's 84 years old, you know what I mean? And he's got a few rental properties and he wants to, start divesting and all that. So I'm kind of like,
what do we call that kind of guy, Sandra?
What do we call him?
What do we call that kind of guy? Yeah.
Next, I don't know.
It's not a test. I was just.
I was gonna say, oh no, I'm gonna fail it.
No, it's not a test. We call that a tired landlord.
Yeah.
He's tired, right? He's 84 years old. He's ready to get out of the game.
Yeah.
He's made 5 times his investment, probably, maybe more, right? he's ready to check out. So he said he's 84 and he just wants to get out, right? That's what he
said the dominant reason is that I'm 83 years old, have 4 investment rental properties and need to be divesting them in a more timely fashion than a lease provides. My plan is to sell each property as they become.
Okay. What did you pitch him?
I pitched him a lease option for 24 months with 24 months with and I led with that I have down payment money.
Yeah.
And he loved that. And
they all do. Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And I talked with him, and his text message was like, his text message response to me was like, this sounds great to me. I'm sure we could come to some sort of agreement. I would love to talk, and you can tell me how much you want to you know, you can tell me your rental price you have in mind. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is a great response. You know, we
Mhm.
talked on the phone, you know, and he was telling me how, you know, it's some of, you know, the property needs some, you know, some work, a little bit of work, but he's willing to do that before the tenant buyer gets in. He wants to, you know, fix up the landscape, and like, you know, it just sounded very, you know, I was like, okay, great. We had a great conversation. I tried to connect with them, like you always say, try to connect with them on this, you know,
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. So, okay,
So,
a couple things here. Number
mhm.
one, okay, this is how some good old boys negotiate.
Okay.
Okay. And you failed to negotiate back. Okay. But this is how he negotiates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 84 years old and I need to sell it in a more timely fashion. Okay. Is he a good old boy, Sandra?
What's a good boy?
You know what I mean? Kind of, you know, kind of an old timer. Like he's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
old
yeah.
school. Like
Yeah, he is. Yes, yes, he is.
he's not a progressive 83-year-old. Okay,
No,
right? So
no.
when he says, yeah, I need to sell this, I'm 83 years old, I need to sell this in a more timely fashion, what he's saying is can you do anything better than 24 months? Okay.
Okay.
I would have tied in on the phone with him and I would have said, hey, you know, this 24 months, I know that's what kills the deal for you. Am I right? Yeah. If I was to change up the agreement where we did it for 12 months and you gave me a 6-month optional extension, if I need it,
Mm-hmm.
is that something that can we speed it up a little bit for you, make you feel more comfortable? Would that make us have a deal today or maybe not? You see what I mean? So, and then when he said that the next thing, I'm looking forward to getting all of the bushes trimmed and the carpet cleaned and the walls painted for the new tenant when this one gets out or whatever, or, you know, whatever you were saying there that he was saying. What he was saying is I'm 83 years old. You think I want to get out there and do the bushes and the paint and the carpet again? That's why I'm trying to sell this thing. See, you could have come back with something like, well, what if I wrote up the agreement, sir, where you didn't have to trim the bushes, paint the carpet, or clean the walls? Okay, we took care of everything, and that was just completely off your plate starting right now. Is that something that would make you feel more comfortable, or maybe not? I don't want you to have to be out there doing that. Do you really want to do that?
See,
No,
that's so,
I don't.
yeah.
You see what I'm
See,
saying?
yeah, see, that's the thing that's kind of confusing to me, because in my offer letter, I already had the fact that the tenant buyer would be responsible for, you know, the 500 occurrences in terms of, you know, if any incident. So that's already in there. And I actually haven't spoken to him. This is his email reply that he said this to me. So I haven't countered it with I haven't
Okay.
spoken to him yet. This is just his email response.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so this is what I was saying, is like I was excited because he did say to me that you know, there's a couple things I need to work in the property, and I had asked him, I said, well, how long do you think it's going to take you, you know what I mean, to fix some of these things in the property and get it ready? And he said a month, because you know, they haven't gone down there to where the house is yet because of COVID, but he's planning on going down there in 2 weeks. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you was about is that um I had put in my offer letter, like the contingency was, you know, that he would fix the roof, because he said there was a little bit of a leak on the roof. So that was one of the things I had put in my offer letter: contingency, roof being fixed and landscape and all that. And I was going to ask you, do I need to also put that in the lease option agreement memo? But I was going to ask you this if he came back and he was like, yes, I want to, you know what I mean? I've seen, you know,
Yeah.
the offer and I'm great. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So.
I would call him back and I would be
Mhm.
I would be as smooth as butter.
Right.
And I'd say, hey man, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you're even talking to me right now, because what I offered you, I agree with you. It don't fit. So here's what I think I heard you say. You're 83 and you don't want 2 years. 2 years
Right.
is too long.
Right.
Then handle it like I was talking before. If I were to change the agreement to this, would that make a difference for us? Okay.
Right.
As far as the roof goes, what kind of small leak is it? Is it a hole, or is it like just a shingle that got blown off and it needs replaced? Okay. I mean, what is it that's leaking? If it's nothing major, then if I change the agreement to where we'll take care of that, is that something that makes you feel more comfortable, and as well as the landscaping? Okay. Is that, can we take some of this load off of you and make the deal
Mhm.
better for you? So you might get that deal. So
Mhm.
here, I recommend taking your emotion and turning it off
Mhm.
and just disconnecting from the results, because he's already told you no. Okay.
Mhm.
So what you're doing now is you're going for the Hail Mary, and that's okay.
Mhm.
If you can get the guy on the phone and work through some of those details using
Mhm.
using some of the guts negotiation skills here,
Mhm.
then you might be able to convert that guy still. Okay.
Okay.
He's tired. He wants it off his plate. So
Mhm.
if you can repaint this deal like
Mhm.
you're really truly doing that, you're taking away the problems, the work, the struggle,
Mhm.
the effort, and you're going to do it in 12 to 18 months instead of 24.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe this is a different scenario now. You
Mhm.
follow me?
Mhm.
See, people say yes to Justin because Justin gives them everything they want.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not a very good Italian. If I am, I'm a hillbilly Italian, I guess.
Yeah, you can't change that though. You can't hide the hillbilly a little bit of in you, Justin. I don't
nah,
think.
nah, nah.
Thank
It's
you.
a
I'll
thank
go.
you,
I'll go
Sandra.
for that.
Yeah, go for the Hail Mary. He already told you no. If he tells you no again, hey, big whoop. But if you give him everything he wants, for the most part, he probably maybe might say yes.
Okay.
It's always worth a shot, Sandra. Good story though. Good progress on working leads. Yeah, it only takes a few of those before one of them is a really good solid one. Maybe one or two or three of those. Like that one was close. Okay, don't be disheartened.
Mhm.
You can look back on it maybe and think, oh well, I messed up there. I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I should have said this, or whatever. You know what? We always going to do that. None of us are ever going to have a perfect game.
Mhm.
So you're like, I got close. That one didn't work out, but that's okay because the next one I'm going to go across the goal line with. Okay. And it will happen, guys. It will happen. Sometimes we get close and I lost a deal this week too. Okay. It sucked. All right. But that's okay. And 2 days later, I got a text message from the same guy. Okay. And the deal's back on. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Stuff
Thank you.
happens. You're welcome. Jerry, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Would you role play the flex option with me being the seller?
The flex option, the lease option agreement?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do a lease option with this seller? So you're talking about
Option,
this.
the option to purchase.
Okay. Just the option.
Yeah, the option to purchase.
Yep.
A situation of where allow me to be able to market the property.
Okay. Yeah. And let's set up a scenario. You got a property that's worth how much?
200,000.
200,000, and you've got a seller asking how much?
That's what he wants, 200. Okay. And the property is actually worth 200. I talked him down to 190. Okay. And the problem was he didn't want to do a lease option. Actually, it's a lady because her husband passed away and she's been trying to get rid of this property before COVID. Okay. And she's telling me during the COVID, she got no calls. And right now she's starting to get a few calls. I talked to her about doing the lease option. She didn't want to do the lease option. She wanted to cash out on the property. Okay. So at that point, I wanted to talk to her about marketing the property. Okay. Allow me to market the property like an option to purchase. And if I found a buyer, okay, before she actually did.
You said you wanted to get her down to 190, but she wouldn't go?
She went down to 190.
Oh, okay. She did go down to 190.
Yes. So we're at 190.
What prompted her to do that?
I talked to her about the property and when I got in and I asked her, I gave her my offer and I told her that's what I could do on the property. Okay. And first I started, are you flexible on price of terms?
Okay.
Okay. And
Good
she said,
question.
I'm a little flexible on the price. So she came down to that price, 190. But
Yeah.
now she would not do a lease option, and I want to be able to present her with the option to purchase,
Okay.
which would allow me to
Yeah.
be able to market the property, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have repairs needed? Any repairs needed to the house?
Well, you know, she said it needed no repairs, but as we all know, they all need repairs. The pictures
Okay.
looks pretty good. I could actually market the house just like it is, no problem. The pictures
Okay.
look really good.
Okay. And the investor wants to get a flex option or a non-exclusive option
Right.
to purchase within a predetermined time frame.
Yeah, and I was figuring like 45 days.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, here's what we do. Of course, we use guts principles, and we have the same guts conversation that we would normally have through the qualification section. And when we get to that department, we find out that the property owner won't budge, and we decide we want to go for a straight option, or we want to go for a non-exclusive option, which is also called a flex option, which is what he's talking about. And so what we do is we do what we call a justified or bona fide offer. I call it the bona fide offer because, like everybody was saying earlier, I'm kind of a hillbilly, and I heard somebody else call it the justified offer, but this is the bona fide offer. Okay. So we'll ask that person. It's very important to ask this question. What will you do if you don't sell the property? That's an
Okay.
important question because they're going to have only a few options. One is to take it completely off the market altogether. Number two would be to rent it out, which may mean that they might be a good candidate for a lease option. Or they might say, well, I'll have to list it with a realtor. Okay.
Well, her question, she came back when I talked to her about that. And she came back to me saying, well, you're not actually going to buy my property. You're actually going to market my property, right?
Okay. Well, what was your answer to her?
I told her I would be marketing the property to find a buyer. Okay. And then she came back to me and send me the agreement. Let me think about it. I sent her the agreement. Then she responded Friday night that she was going to take a pass.
On the flex option?
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm trying to figure out how could I have presented that better.
Yep.
And by listening to you will help me in the next one.
I understand. So to Alex was asking, what is a flex option? Alex, it's like an option to purchase by itself, just an option to purchase, except it's a flex option, which means that it's non-exclusive. So in other words, you could look for a buyer to assign this deal to, a retail buyer in this case, or they could find one on their own as well. Okay. So it's not an exclusive type thing where only you have the right to do it. Okay. That would be a straight option. A flex option is where the seller can market the property, alongside you doing your thing, looking for a buyer. So it's important to ask this seller, what will they do if they don't sell the property? Because if they say rent, then you're open to a lease option. Okay. If they say, I'm going to take it off the market completely, okay, then that means they're not motivated at all. Okay. They don't need to sell. All right. So probably not a good case scenario for any technique. If they say this, I'll list it with a realtor. Okay. That's a great thing for them to say for you too, because you know that realtor is going to cost 6%, right? Probably 6% realtor fee. So here's what we have. We have a $200,000 house. Okay. She's willing to acquiesce down to 190. Okay. Which is probably where the offer would come in anyway from a retail buyer is 190. Then they're going to pay 6% in realtor fees. Can somebody do the math for me? What's 6% of 190,000? Let's see here. 190,000.
12,000, right?
Yeah, pretty close to 12,000. Let's just go with 12. Yeah. So that's 178. Yeah, 178,000. Okay, you want to kind of explain this to the lady while you're on the phone with her. You want to say, so, you know, best case scenario, and that's if there's no repairs needed. Okay, or buyer concessions is what that's called. Okay. And that's also not including closing costs, okay, which could be 2 to 3K. You know, it could be. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So what they're really going to net is probably somewhere down in the 160s or low 170s. Okay. If you have the ability to educate your seller a little bit, you know, you can educate them on what the road ahead would mean for them if they can't sell this property on their own. And then, okay, you ask them a guts question. What would be a great guts question to follow up with your education here? Anybody got one in mind? I like it when we participate, when we play with each other. We want to role play this a little bit. So what's a great guts question to ask?
Where would we have to be to do a deal today?
That's a good one. Yeah. We could say if I were to take away all these realtors fees, if I were to eliminate that problem for you, and if I were to eliminate the buyer concessions, if I were to eliminate the closing costs, if I were to not beat you up on price, even really, I mean, could we do something today in the neighborhood of 185 and you make an additional 15,000 more than you would if you, or maybe not. Okay. All right. I'm an investor. I have buyers that may be interested in this. Okay. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to send over my agreement to you. Okay. And but before I do, can I go over it with you on the phone? Okay. You got to be a little more step 2. Okay. When they're, hey, I want to take this away and think about it. Send me your agreement and I'll get back to you. Okay. I've heard 2 stories today from someone where that happened. Okay. Sending out agreements, sending out these gurus and coaches that say, hey, just send out offers. Okay. That's crazy. I don't know who does that. Who has the time for that? Okay. So you got to really, really, really lock these people in on the phone. So, let's role play that right there. The same conversation that she was having with you, Jerry. You want to role play that same conversation?
Yes, but one thing I wanted to say, I gave her a cash offer of 150, and she said, no way. She said, but at least you offered me more than the other investor. And then I came back. I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, how much did he offer you? And she said 90,000.
Wow. That's crazy. So at what price point would we have a deal today?
Okay.
Okay, great. What is it? Role play with me, Jerry.
Okay.
Come on, baby.
What price would we have a deal at today? Well, I want 200,000 and I'm not going to. That's my price. My husband died. He left this property and I moved in with my mom. I'm taking care of her. And I don't need this property. This property is sitting, but I'm not going to give it away. I know what it's worth.
Jerry, I'm an investor, like I told you before, and I'm looking at this property, and man, as much as I want to buy it today, I don't know if I can pay 200 for it, because it seems like I wouldn't have any profits in there for me. So, is there anything better that you can do, or is this over? Okay, now you're going to go to
Well,
190, right?
Yeah. Well, I could go down a little. If that
Okay,
was the
you
next,
flexible on price? Are
little.
you flexible on price or terms?
On
Okay,
price.
a little. How much?
I could probably do 190, and that's the lowest I would go.
So 190. If I sent you an agreement today that didn't tie up your house, but allowed me to work on getting it sold off for you and getting it bought, is that something we could go ahead and move forward with today? Could you give me a shot at working on this, or maybe not?
Explain the agreement that you're talking about.
I'll read it to you right now. Okay. So you get the agreement out, because it's a 1-page deal,
Right.
and you go through the agreement. You get their
Okay.
verbal agreement on the phone. Then you send the agreement for signatures. Some
Okay.
guys even really stand up and get that deal signed while they're still on the phone. I'm going to send it to you on Dotloop right now to your email while we're on the phone. Okay. Some guys do that even. I don't do that, but some guys do. Okay. But I do frequently go over the document on the phone with the seller.
Mhm.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. You're not actually buying my house. You're looking to market my house, right?
I'm an investor. So what I want to do is I want to put some good people in there. I want to make a little bit of money, but at the same time, I want you to get what you want too. Is that unreasonable, or is this something we can talk about doing?
Oh, we could talk about it. Why don't you do this? Why don't you send me over your agreement? Let me take a look at it. And if I like what I see, then we could get back on the phone.
I'll tell you what, I've got it sitting right here in front of me. It's a half a page long, and I'll read it to you right now, and you can tell me no if you want. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. See, now I'm into it. Okay.
Right.
Read the document, answer any objections or questions they have, and then send it out with confidence that you're getting signatures.
Okay.
Boom. Boom.
So if you're not getting the signatures, don't send it out, right?
I don't send out paperwork unless I'm going to get signatures, unless I
Okay.
believe I'm getting signatures.
Okay.
You know, here's the thing, guys. If you're in the lease options business, I send out the agreement for signatures, or I send the information for homeowner packet.
Okay.
I don't ever send them together.
Okay.
I used to, but I haven't in quite a while now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Either the agreement, or if I'm not going to send the agreement, because I don't waste my time sending agreements to people that don't want to sign agreements, then I'll send the information for homeowner packet. Information, okay, but never the same at the same time, never the same people.
Okay. So some people teach us send an agreement to everybody you talk to, which is like you said before, it's a waste of time sometimes.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a waste of time. If you send out 10,000 agreements, you probably get a couple signed.
Yeah.
But I would rather do business, you know, with people, and people want to do business with people, and sending out 10,000 agreements is not, that's a cold, I don't know, line in the water. I don't know what you would call that, but it's not for me. I can tell
Right.
you that.
Right.
I had a system one time in place where people could go to the website, get educated if they wanted, and then submit the their own property and do the contract. All right there online without me interacting with them at all. Okay. So, in other words, here's what I had. I had my text blast go out. I had a follow-up text that included a link where they could go to the site, get educated, even fill out the paperwork, do everything right there. Boom. Do you know how many people went through there and filled that thing out for me in a year's time? Somebody take a wild guess.
None.
0. Yeah. Because people aren't trying to give their house away to a cold website that they don't know anything about or who's behind that.
Right.
Who, you know.
Right.
So, yeah. I've never been the guy who believed in any of the coaches or gurus that are like, yeah, just send out 100 offers every day and you'll make massive amounts of money. I mean, something's wrong with that. That's nutty.
I want to talk to you about one more question before we
Yep.
get off.
Yep.
V-Flyer, marketing for properties other places than Facebook and Craigslist. Not marketing, like I have properties that I'm trying to get sold and I have them on Craigslist. I have them in the marketplace. I was thinking about V-Flyer, but I never used V-Flyer. And I heard you mention that before.
Are they for rent or for sale?
The rent-to-own properties.
Then you want to go to RentLinks, RENTLINX. It will be cheaper for you in the long run than V-Flyer. But V-Flyer is also a syndicator, okay, which means they'll take your ad and they'll syndicate it out to a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
But RentLinks is something you can just do a one-off property. You don't have to sign up for a lifetime subscription. And
How much, do you have any idea what the cost?
yeah, I think the last time I did it, it was $36 or something. I don't know. It wasn't much. Like, it's my
Okay.
last ditch effort. Okay, so I'll do Craigslist, which in fact I'd like to do one here just in a few minutes. I know we're going long, and if y'all need to run, that's okay. But I want to put a property on Craigslist and Facebook, let everybody watch. So, yeah, I'll do Craigslist and Facebook, and then last ditch effort. I'll do a Facebook paid ad, and then last ditch effort will be RentLinks. RentLinks.
Okay.
Just real quick on RentLinks, they have 3 plans: 55, 135, and 239.
Must have been okay, but I think you could. Can you do just one single property, or have they changed?
I think they've changed. It looks like you have up to 20
Okay.
advertised properties.
For the 55?
Yeah,
Okay, see, yeah, all right. That's what I'm. Sorry, guys. I think I said 36 or something. I was.
Is
yeah,
that
it might,
for-
have been, it might have been that.
I think it
Is
was
that
at
Is
one
that for a
point.
month? Is it for a month?
Yeah, I believe that's the monthly fee. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have to go and check it out.
I believe it syndicates out to like 82 different places. A lot of them I don't recognize, but that's okay. It goes to places that you don't even know people are at, but they are. You know,
Okay.
websites you've never heard of, and yeah, it's pretty cool tool. Pretty cool, but it's a last ditch effort. I don't use it that often because it's kind of a last ditch resort for me. You know, like I said, most of my properties I'll sell on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or a paid ad. Yep.
A quick question, Justin. Have you
Yeah.
ever advertised a property and charged the full, processing fee, credit report fee, $45 or so before you ever showed the property to somebody?
No, I don't do that. Because I don't know if they want it or not, honestly, and I feel like it's kind of a bit. I mean, if I have a higher end property, I may. I don't know, but I don't think most people would even be willing to.
That's what I'm thinking.
You
So
know,
the reason I brought it up is because I'm house shopping right now. I was doing the Vegas thing and it fell through because of some cost factors associated with my mom. Just real quick, one of her medicines is 16,000 for 90-day supply.
Wow, Jesus.
So we couldn't replace that in Vegas, so I had to like put the kibosh on that. But so I'm looking for places here. So I saw a place for rent. The lady wants me to send over bank statements, pay stubs, pay $45 for a credit report, and do all that stuff before I even see the house. I went to the house. The house is nothing fantastic. I mean, it's decent. It looks like it was getting some cleanup done on it. But I just thought she was out of her damn mind, and she's got an attitude and everything about it in terms of seeing the house. So I was like, who does this?
Yeah, not
Yeah, I thought it was
not
ridiculous.
anybody that I know of. I mean, like I was saying, maybe on a high end property there might
Maybe
be
on
at
maybe
some
on a $1 million
point,
property where
maybe.
you're not showing it to looky loos.
You know, here's the thing with tenant buyers. I just pre-qualify them before I send them over to take a look at it, like verbally. All right. You know, are you looking to rent or are you looking to buy?
Yeah.
Well, I can't buy right now. Okay, that's fine. This is a rent to own opportunity. Is this something that you're looking to do, or are you just wanting to rent? No, this would be great. We want it. We love the rent to own idea about this. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is okay, well, this is going to require a reasonable down payment. What are you working with? Okay, I'm going to find out a sense of things with them before I send them over. Once I've gone through all of that, you know, hey, would you be willing to submit to a background screen after you've gone in and taken a look at it and you say this is what you want to do and you want to move forward? Okay, is there anything I need to know about maybe now? Okay, great. All right, well, it sounds like it might be a good fit. One last question. Have you driven by? Okay, you haven't? Or you have? Okay, great. If you haven't, you better go drive by before you go in and look, because, you know, I don't want to set up for you to go in and look until you drive by. You might not like the neighborhood. I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong school. Go drive by. Don't waste my time. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if all that's in good place, now I'll show the property.
Hey,
Yeah.
Justin, kind of in the same spot. What happens if the homeowner is saying like, well, have you done the screening yet? What was the results? And you say, well, they were interested. They sound great. I pre-qualified them. They're willing to do the screening. Once after they look at the property and this is really what they want to do, does that make sense? And she said, yeah, but I just don't want anybody coming in my place. I want to make sure that they are credited. You said you were going to provide me that information, right? And then I kind of got stuck on that point because I did say that in part of the agreement, and I assured her that I'm still doing that. I'm still letting her know that they got great jobs, the money's there, they can afford the debt to ratio, to do the monthly payment. This is what they are wanting to do, and so how do I get that, or get the seller
What's the tenant buyer do for a living?
outside sales for Kellogg's.
Is it commission only?
No, it's salary plus commission, and then the other qualified tenant buyer is a sales rep for Delta Airlines.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad y'all brought this up because one, I explained a lot of what I was talking about with Victor. I know Victor knows that, but I was doing it because I was thinking of Nicholas really. And then Nicholas spoke up. So I'm glad. Guys, I've never mentioned this before. And perhaps that's because we talk about acquisitions a whole lot here, but there is a bit of salesmanship that goes into putting the tenant buyer and the seller together. Okay. A bit of salesmanship. In other words, I wanted to talk to you on the phone again, Mr. Homeowner, because I have somebody that I believe is going to be great for that property. We've already pre-screened them. Okay. We'll finish the background screens and everything. They'll be concluded, the final background screens and everything, once they've seen the property and they want it. but this guy, he works at he's on salary and he gets commission bonuses too, and she's a flight attendant. So these are some solid professionals. I think you're going to be impressed. When would be a great time for me to send you to send them over there? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you the appointment confirmation memo that lets you know who they are. Okay. I also have a copy of their driver's license. If you want to get that, that's real professional, Nick. I also got a copy of the tenant buyer's driver's license. So when they come over, you'll know exactly who you're seeing.
Okay, great.
Okay. Is all that good? And if they say that the thumbs up to that, we're going to finish the final background screens on them, and all systems go. All systems go. Is that great news? All right, great. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, I actually get their driver's license, and I have them take a picture of their tag and send it to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Guys. Yeah, because it's the new territory I haven't been at yet, so I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, and people skip over this because it's too easy to skip over. But when you're going to do the paperwork, at some point during the paperwork, get their driver's license number and their birthday. Because if these people ever need to be tracked down for a triple axe murder in the basement, the first thing the cops are going to want to know is who the hell was it? What's their driver's license number, social security, any information you have, and what's their birthday so we can locate them on our database. Okay. I'm just saying, protect yourself by getting the information.
Yeah.
All right. So you
Yeah.
ask. That's all you got to do, Sandra. Hey, before I let anyone go take a look at any of my properties, I require they send me a copy of their photo ID for safety's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to know who's going in there in case somebody gets chopped up.
Yep.
Okay. You don't want to say it like that, but that's the reality. All right.
That's your thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me tell you what, go to any apartment complex in town and sit down in the rental office and tell them you want to go take a look at a unit, and they'll say, let me see your driver's license. And they'll run to the back and they'll make a copy of it and they'll leave it up front with those girls while one girl or two takes you up to the room.
Yep.
They want to know who you are.
That's right.
You run your business the same way, guys. It's okay. It's okay to be professional.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, should we make like a checkoff list as far as finding the tenant buyers and what we need to do and check all that off? Because that seems like, for me anyway, a lot to remember.
It's not that much really. And I got a checkoff list in that,
In the
I got to
course.
check. Yeah. In the course.
Oh, okay.
It's real. It's real simple. It's like 5 or 6 things.
Mhm.
And,
Okay, awesome.
My Smart Move, Nicholas used it for the first time yesterday or so. Nicholas, tell us about mysmartmove.com.
Man, that's super easy, actually. You put your property, input it in there on your dashboard, and then once you get like the kind of rent, you can put the rent payment and the down payment if you want. And I kind of did a tester on this one. I know that you had mentioned to try to put the either the rent or the full amount down payment and see, try it out. So none of them really complained. Everyone, they liked it. They were okay with it. They haven't gone through it yet. And they kind of said the same thing like what you guys were just talking about right now, that they wanted to view the property first. And if they liked it, it's already in their inbox. They already saved it and they would, go ahead and, submit it. And they didn't have a problem paying the $40, but until after they saw the property.
Well, sure.
But yeah, it's a pretty awesome website, man.
If I'm going to pay $40 to see it, it better be like one of those fork and screen deals where I kick back in a recliner and a waiter comes up and brings me a beer and I can order like cheesy fries while I watch a movie. $40 to view.
Oh, yeah, this lady wants $45 and $300 and something $1,000, cookie cutter neighborhood house. And she wants, bank statements, pay stubs, a copy of my photo IDs, and all of this before I even go to, look at the darn. I'm like, you must be out your damn mind. I'm like, this can't be right.
Shit, lady, the museum downtown is free.
She crazy. Out of her mind.
I can
You know,
view it.
and it took her forever to even get back to me. I think she's just a slacker who's just making excuses not to do any work or something.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's not the kind of landlord you want anyway, right? You know?
No, she's actually just a realtor. She's not the property owner,
Oh,
but she's just a realtor representing the property owner. And I think she's going to cost this lady more money than she's going to ever make her.
she's a bitter lady. Yeah. Maybe you could find the owner and just put a little of the old Victor Walker charm on her.
Well, you know, you're a mind reader because that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, put a little of that charm on her.
Try to, you know, butter her up a little bit. Hey.
Irresistible.
That's
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff. Good conversations today. Y'all want to see me try to build a Craigslist ad and Facebook stuff real quick, or y'all want to call it a day?
No, yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, let's see if we can
Sorry,
get
I
into
need
it.
to get as much information. I need to soak up as much information from you guys as I can.
You go,
I
Sandra.
understand. So let's go to Craigslist here. First of all, real quick, I got pictures. You see my folder of pictures. Let's see what else I got. Oh, I got the contract here. Okay. This is actually the agreement. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody out there in the YouTube world. I want this to be private VIP. I'll see y'all later.